All right, folks, here we go. You'll forgive me, but I'm experimenting with doing these videos standing up. I really don't like my energy level when I'm sitting down. And I'm not gonna lie, I have been recording content all day today. It's like a massive content push to try to make the most of the day that I have. Working from home right now is much harder than it used to be because I have the kids home all the time. So when I do have some free time, I'm just like hammering it out to get as much out there as I can. Also, I was almost 2 months late on my month 11 for this case study, and I really don't want to be pushing out content on this in July because I have so much stuff that I want to do that I just want to wrap this up and then move on. So here we go, the 12-month update. And you might notice that this video is a little bit longer than some of my previous case study videos. I thought I would just do a little more explanation in this video. If people are coming across this now and haven't had a chance to do the catch up on all of the videos, I'm not going to go through month-on-month explanations of what happened in a particular time. If you're interested in that, you will see the playlist down there in the description. The link will be below and you can go and catch the month-on-month updates. But I am going to share some details in this video that I haven't shared before. All right, for those of you who weren't with me when I started this process, I got started in this whole make money online thing in 2018. I actually started a couple of websites in 2018 and all of them crashed and burned except for one, which I'm still managing today. I worked and worked and worked and worked in 2018, and it was honestly a situation where I needed to work smarter and not harder, but I didn't really know what I was doing. I fell off the wagon really hard in the fall of 18 and then didn't get around to getting back on the horse until 2019. And the thing that inspired me to do that was I actually came across John Dykstra and the Fat Stacks blog. I had actually already bought 2 other courses in the spring of 2019, and I do not honestly want to tell you how much I spent because I am embarrassed. Especially since I really haven't used the information that I pulled out of those courses, and I will say that I did them both all the way through. I just didn't really think that the method or the thing turned out to be the thing for me. But I'm honestly not going to say that those purchases, that money spent, was money, bad money thrown away or a mistake, because what happened was when I came across John's course for $47, I bought it, and then when I got into it, I immediately recognized that it was the thing that I wanted to do, and it was the method that I wanted to pursue. And it wasn't hard to get started. So what I decided to do for this course and for this case study was to follow the course and spend 12 months and just come onto YouTube and update it regularly about my progress. Honestly, when I started making those videos, I didn't really know that my YouTube would grow the way it has and that anybody would actually see these videos. Honestly, I was making the videos for myself and it never occurred to me that people would honestly be going back and looking at them. So some details that I've never shared about the case study. I bought the domain through GoDaddy. I'm hosting it with SiteGround. The theme that I am using is WordX from my theme shop, and that was one of the themes that was recommended by John in the course. I don't use a lot of plugins. I don't use any paid plugins. I'm using the Ad.Text Manager, anti-spam, contextual related posts, quick AdSense, Resmush It, Simple Author Box, Updraft, WP Word Count, and Yoast. I will say as for Yoast, I'm not really doing a whole lot with it. It's just the primary way that I get the sitemap set up on my site. I'm sure there's another way to do it, but I was using Yoast in the beginning, and so I've never taken it off, and I just don't really use it. The site is currently monetized with display ads only. I applied for AdSense really quickly after I started the site and then actually put ads on, I think in month 3. It obviously didn't earn hardly anything for many, many months, a penny here, a penny there, until the site started to actually get some traffic. And then in December of 2019, in month 9, I moved the site over to Ezoic. If you follow the channel, you know that I talk about Ezoic all the time because I was just amazed with the transition, right? I had this site that was earning $17, $14, $18, and then in the first month with Ezoic, it took me from maybe max $25 to $30 up to $100 a month for a site that I had been working on for months and really trying to figure out how and where to place ads. It was just a relief to be able to go to Ezoic and have them do it for me, because ultimately every site is different, right? Every site is going to make money in a different way because the people who go through the site are different. They're there for different reasons. Content is different. The theme is different. Everything is different. So to say that every site earns best from a banner ad or from a footer ad or from a sidebar or an in-text ads, it's not going to work. And what I like about having gone to Ezoic is that the ad tester tests all that out for me. And so it's just not something that I have to worry about. For people who have a lot of experience placing ads, they may not need that service. But for folks who are going through the ad optimization for the first time, like that process for really the first time, it was just a relief to be able to have someone else to help me through it, basically someone else to do it, and then to be able to advise me on that process. And yes, I will just say straight up that I am an Ezoic affiliate, and I am proud to have a link down in the description if you're thinking about signing up. Please feel free to use the link. If you don't use my link, use somebody's, because when you use a publisher's link, that individual gets 3% of any earnings that your site earns for the length of time that it's on Ezoic at no additional cost to you. Like, why would you waste that? When people use my link to sign up, I use that money to pay for things like domains or hosting. It's a great way to support creators. So additional details, if you're familiar with the case study, this is something that should be familiar to you. I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but this site was born April 6, 2019. That was the day I just said, it's time, I am going to do this. Currently, as of today, there are 317 articles on the site, and those were all put up obviously in the first 12 months. I published most of the articles, the bulk of the articles, at least 2/3 of those in the initial months of the site, so in April, May, and June of last year. And then, no surprise, because I worked so hard in those first couple months, I burned out. I got tired, and I obviously wasn't seeing a lot of traction on the site because guess what? It's a brand new site, and it's really hard to keep going and to keep working that hard all the time when you're not seeing a whole lot of return. And I just didn't have, the trust that I have now that it was going to work. And so like I did in 2018 is I worked and worked and worked and worked and worked and then allowed myself to get distracted by YouTube. So I went on and went on and went on, and lo and behold, I started to see that the site was gaining traction, that I was starting to see traffic, and that inspired me to get back to publishing. And of course, I regret having taken those months off. I mean, I would be so much further ahead right now if I had continued to do the work that I was doing. But, that's just my thing, to work really, really hard and then to burn out and then recover and then start again. So that's something that I have to work on. And will continue to work on probably for the rest of my life. But as of right now, the site has close to 500,000 words. Not exactly, obviously. I'm about 21,000 words short of 500,000 words, but that's not too bad, considering that I wrote not all of the content myself, but a lot of it myself. As far as backlinks go, I get these questions a lot, and I didn't pursue an active backlink strategy. For fun, I don't know, on a whim, I got a wild hair and bought one from the Hoth in November. Whenever I'm out and about and I'm going to leave a comment, I will post the URL so it will track back to the site. And occasionally I will post something on social media with a link to an article, but I honestly don't do a lot of work on this, and that is something that I really want to be working on in year 2 for this site. Other information I've never shared. I did a check on the free Moz domain authority checker today just for fun, and it says that the site is at a 9. Ahrefs says the site is a 1.8, which sucks, but it's a brand new site and it doesn't have a lot of backlinks, so that makes sense. The number of backlinks per Moz says 283 from 65 domains. It says that 598 keywords are ranking. And you've heard me talk a little bit about Google algorithm updates. The site has had a couple of dents and dings from algorithm updates, but nothing massive and nothing that is terribly worrisome. I'm going to show you the charts of the traffic, but overall you're going to see the site basically still on an upward trajectory. So my best laid plans, here's what I was going to do. Per the teachings, per the information provided by John Dykstra in his Fast Stacks course, the goal was to focus on long tail, low competition keywords. I was focused primarily on informational rather than on money keywords because in my mind, I figured that those keywords would be less competitive overall. I mean, everybody was talking about an Uber Suggest and Ahrefs, looking at the CPC, and everybody was focused on trying the lowest competition keywords that had the most traffic and could earn the most money. So I figured, well, why not try to focus on the keywords that nobody is going for? I mean, the cost per click, if someone shows an ad on a page that is not very competitive and there aren't very many advertisers and it's not super valuable, there's still got to be some money there. There still has to be some advertiser who's going to want to spend some money for those eyeballs. And so the experiment was to not necessarily focus on the highest CPC for a low competition keyword, but basically any keyword, and to see if 1, I could get traffic for the keyword, and 2, if I could make some money from it. Obviously, the outcome of this is that the RPM or the EMPV or EPMV, I always forget the order of those letters, what they go in, is going to be lower than the money sites or the sites focused on products and the rest. But ultimately, I've actually been kind of pleased being able to make money off of some of these keywords that Uber Suggest told me were a 004 CPC. I have not done a whole lot with affiliate offers at this point. There have been some questions like, why haven't you done this yet? I mean, it seems like you're leaving money on the table not doing this. And yeah, I agree, but this is a case study. And I have other sites where I have affiliate offers and other sites where I'm monetizing things in different ways. And this was just this strategy. This was fun to do. And I did it for a year. And now that the site has at least a little bit of domain authority and some backlinks, we'll see what I can make of it. I didn't follow the course exactly. And as I said, I got really focused on working super hard on the site and then fell off the bandwagon a couple of months in. So I didn't exactly go through all the modules of the course exactly. Like there was a whole bunch of information in the course about Pinterest that I just never got to. So here is the traffic for the last 30 days, and I'm going to move my face so you can see that it is March 1st, 2020 to March 31, 2020. So this is the 12-month mark. You can see that we were close to 20,000 page views. It was 18,186 sessions and 19,567 sessions. My goal had been to get to 25,000 sessions by the end of 12 months, and I did not make it there, but I honestly don't feel too bad. We are in the middle of a pandemic. Had a rough month in January, tested out some things in February and March that I think hurt the site, but I learned a ton from, so I think it was valuable to have done it. But overall, I think that the site is still growing nicely. Here's the graph for the traffic for the life of the site. You'll see a spike early on in 2019. One of the writers that I'd hired for the site actually shared one of the articles that she had written, and I didn't care, with her Facebook page. It actually got several hundred visitors, which was unexpected, but totally destroyed my like perfect graph going, you know, this way. One of the milestones that I did not think that I would hit, but we did, was managing to get 100,000 page views in the first year. I know there are some sites that do that in a day or in a month, but with a brand new site that is only 12 months old and to be able to have gotten to 100,000 page views in that first year, I feel pretty good about that. Obviously, there's so many metrics here that can be improved on. Obviously, the pages per session, the average session duration, the bounce rate, these are all places that can be worked on and improved. So here we have the earnings. And a lot of this stuff should be familiar to you. But looking here at March, AdSense did not do a whole heck of a lot, even though I still have ads wrapped on the site. The Ezoic ad tester is just not sending a lot of traffic through to them, and I have to assume that the other ads that it is serving are doing better. Ezoic bounced back up to $100 this month, up from $76. In February, like I said, we had some bumps and bruises because I was testing out a tool that didn't work out that well, and there was also some technical issues with the site that I honestly have never figured out exactly what was going on, but the bounce back in March tells me I think that we've managed to make it through it. And so it wasn't the best month overall. Like, I'd love to cap off the whole experiment with the 12th month being the most highest earning month that there was. But again, we're in the middle of a pandemic. There's all kinds of stuff going on right now that we can't control. The fact that the site still managed to earn close to what was earning in previous months still makes me feel good. I think the real test will be to see how the site performs in April, May, and June. Ad rates are falling all across the board, even though traffic for a lot of niches is up. So we'll just have to see how this plays out. Another thing that I have not talked about very much is expenses. I may have done in another video, just covered briefly what I spent and whether or not I was in a profit or loss sort of situation. What you're seeing on the screen is the sort of accounting for the cost of domain and hosting and the theme and the plugins. And I spent a little bit of money on Ahrefs, and when I was posting with Pro Blogger Job to get outsourcing writers, and the money I spent on content, and that backlink from the Hoth that I have no idea if it was a good idea or not, and how much money I spent on FatStacks courses versus what I actually earned. So right now I am proud to say that I am $1,380.32 in the hole. Now, am I upset about that? No, I'm not. I'm actually kind of thrilled to be able to have gotten where we are, having invested less than $2,000 over a 12-month period. Would I change any of this? I'm not sure that I would have spent the money on content that I did. Not that spending money on content was a bad idea. I just think I would have done the writers different. I was looking for the absolute cheapest content because I really didn't have a lot of money at the time to throw at this. And some of that content did well and some of it didn't. So I guess if I was going to go back and spend my money any differently, I don't know that I would spend that money there or as much as I did. Probably would have spent maybe about the same, but just sought a higher quality content. Knowing what I know now, that's probably what I would have done. Probably wouldn't have bought the link from the Hoth. I definitely was happy having spent money on both of the FatStacks courses that I bought. Ahrefs was a good experience and I still think it was worth it, even though I can't honestly subscribe to the tool because I spend all my time doing keyword research and I don't spend any time creating posts. It's just too much fun. It's like hunting for treasure. So yeah, those are the expenses. All right, here we go. Goals for year 2. I had an internal goal of trying to get my site in the first 12 months to at least 100,000 page views over a period of 12 months. In year 2, I would like to see at least 1 month where I get to 100,000 page views in any given month. So how am I planning on doing that? Well, 1, I'm going to get more content published, and so we're probably going to be looking at a lot more outsourcing because I've actually injured myself. Like my wrist is not actually working as well as it should. I think I have some sort of like overuse injury in my hand from spending too much time typing or using the mouse. So it's actually kind of painful to sit and type. Definitely going to be working on improving existing content. You may have seen the video I kicked off last week where I did an interview with one of the co-founders of Surfer. Right now we're working on improving some of the content I have on the site that is fairly dead and not getting any traffic, and I'm super excited about that. I'm also looking at doing more with Pinterest for the site and potentially YouTube. Obviously not on this channel. It would be a channel that would be completely unaffiliated with this, but I'm curious to see if I can start generating traffic for the page, for the site from YouTube. I also got access to Affiliate Lab from Matt Diggity, and there's tons of valuable content in there about backlinking. So I want to spend more time digging into his course on that and work on incorporating some of his strategies to see if I can help make my site and the pages more competitive for the keyword search term. Another major goal is to get the site to $3,000 per month. I think at the end of year 1, that would have been a pretty lofty goal for someone with my experience, but I'm not so intimidated about that for year 2. So how would I plan to do that? Like I said, I'm going to continue to put up more content, continuing the strategy that we're working on now, so long tail keywords that are informational with the goal of generating ad revenue. Now that the site is a little bit older, I'm going to feel a little more confident pushing for keywords that are maybe more competitive, maybe targeting a higher value keyword. And then the obvious thing to do is start working on affiliate offers to try to make ad revenue through affiliate offers, be it Amazon or some other affiliate program. So in the end all, by the end of year 2, I would like to have a site that you could arguably say was worth at least $100,000. So like I said, the goal would be to get the income to around the $3,000 a month range. But depending upon the multiples at the time, a site that is getting $2,500 a month could fall into that range, depending, like I said, on the multiple. And then who knows, at the end of year 2, maybe I will move to try and sell it. And so that's it, everyone. That's 12 months. I'm not going to be updating on this site on every month basis anymore. I don't know if there's as much value as going from month 12 to 13 to 14 to 15, but who knows? I mean, if there's a lot of interest, I may continue to update it month on month. I'll tell you what, if you're still watching this, go down in the description and let me know if you think that the month-on-month updates would still be valuable to you. It's not that much work putting them together. I just have to remember to do it. I will definitely be continuing to talk about this case study because I'm still going to use it to test out strategies and tools and everything else that I'm doing. I have another website that's sort of been waiting in the wings. It's more of a flip, so I may be talking about that one more, but we'll see. It's been a lot of fun learning and working on this website. I have to thank and send a shout out to John Dykstra for making a course and making it available for all of $47. I would drop a link to it, but it's not being offered anymore, which is a huge bummer for the rest of us because it was really great. So thanks, John, if you ever watch this, which I'm sure you will never watch this. And for those of you who have been following along on this case study, I really appreciate you. And I look forward to reporting back at the end of year 2 that I have met all of my lofty goals. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching, and we will see you in the next one.